Oh, hello everyone. It's Susie here, Crypto Granny. Today it's the 22nd of the 12th. Gosh, a couple of days before Christmas, and it's 1622 in Europe at the moment. Now, I've got three articles here, which I think are really important, just recent articles, and they came out today and yesterday. And one's on Ripple, obviously talking about Wells Fargo and FTX. Another one's about waves and futures. Now, I've mentioned this before, derivative markets. And the Wave CEO believes that futures have been so detrimental to their coin, Waves, and as you know, Waves is off about 95%. It got to one stage about $55, and I think it's down to about $3. And I agree with this guy in entirety. And there's another one here about Paxful, basically dropping Ethereum due to increased centralization. And I think that's interesting because, as you know, the SEC basically said Ethereum was not a security because it was decentralized. Whereas Paxful, the owner, founder of Paxo, is saying we're not using Ethereum anymore because it's centralized. So let's cover those. I think these are really good stories. A lot of learning in these stories. So please do have a listen. And let's go through the first lot. So Wells Fargo fined for 3.7 billion, but the world is still fixated on FTX collapse, says Ripple's CEO Brad Garlinghouse. And I agree with him, right? The big investment banks over the years, the fiat banks, have been in all sorts of trouble and fined by the SEC, whether it's basically LIBOR fixing or FX fixing or, fixing interest rate swaps at certain levels. And, there's been a lot of fraud with some of the front office dealers fixing rates so that their reval rates are very good for them in terms of their bonus. So, for example, they might be long or short something and they reval that position that's advantageous to them, and the dealer will get paid commission on how much bonus on how much profitability he actually makes. So Brad Garlinghouse chipped in here and said that everyone's so, concerned about FTX, but, Wells Fargo, one of the biggest investment banks in the world, has been fined 3.7 billion by the SEC. Now, it's important too, because you've got to question, how does the SEC, excuse me, come up with the fine amounts? I mean, honestly, 3.7 billion, they're trying to find Ripple for billions and billions in terms of, allegedly saying that Ripple's a security, XRP's a security. And, Libri came out yesterday and was sued by the SEC for allegedly having a security, and the SEC fined them $22 million. And Libri said, well, how are you coming up with these fines? They're astronomical, they're obscene. And I agree with them, right? The SEC basically this year has literally taken 6.4 billion from the crypto market in terms of, in terms of fines for coins and tokens that they allegedly believe are securities. Okay. So the SEC has become a profit center, not a cost center. A year ago, they were getting 3 billion from the crypto market. A year before that, they were getting less than 1 billion. So you see what's happening here. They keep looking at everyone and suing everyone, and there's no regulation. I mean, this is almost like a chicken before the egg, right? It's just a joke. But anyway, let's look at this article, and I think it's very interesting. Okay, now we know what's happened with, Gary Wong and Caroline Elson from Elmelda. They're basically pled guilty, and they're giving a lot of evidence, to the legal jurisdiction re what happened with Elmelda and FTX. So it looks like that SBF is certainly going to be on the hook. Okay, there's no doubt about that, right? So, what Mr. Brad Garlinghouse basically said that, look, no one looks at, the big mismanagement of billions, with Wells Fargo and customer accounts. It's barely a blip on the radar, right? But it was billions and billions of dollars. And now everyone's outraged by SBF because it's cryptocurrency. And I think Mr. Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, is absolutely correct, okay? He said the SEC, for its failure to go after the likes of FTX, who basically, are paying, people in the government, greasing up the palm of, Gary Gensler. SBF and Gary Gensler were great mates and all this sort of thing, right? But, then they're saying, but, when they look at the SEC and the fiat market, they're inconsistent, right? They're totally inconsistent, okay? The Wells Fargo scandal was a huge scandal, which basically was mismanaging of customer loans for over 16 million people, right? Now, we know FTX had more than 1 million in creditors, and they probably affected about 8 million people. But the Wells Fargo scandal was bigger than that. It was 16 million people, right? And, we're talking about billions of dollars they ripped from their client base, right? They were a huge offender and a repeated offender, right? The fourth largest bank in the nation and a repeated offender, which cost billions of dollars in harm to its customers, including the loss of vehicles and homes for thousands and thousands of people, right? Apparently, loans were wrongly repossessed, misapplied customers' payments for vehicles and mortgage loans. People basically, lost their houses, right? And there is a total inconsistency with the way they're treating the fiat banking market and the cryptocurrency market. They're trying to close down the cryptocurrency market to be extreme. And I think that's what they're doing. It's very clear to me. The SEC and the regulators in the US have no regulation for what people are allowed to do in the cryptocurrency market, but all they're doing, is suing people and becoming a profit center. It's obscene as far as I'm concerned. Right. So, there's another article here. Yes, the billions of mismanaged money with Wells Fargo, the biggest bank, they paid billions of dollars in fines, and now they're let off the hook. And now, literally the FTX is a blip compared to the Wells Fargo story of 3.7 billion of mismanaged funds. And yet, everyone, is focusing on FTX. And I agree with exactly what Mr. Garlinghouse said. Another guy said from SFPB, what's that mean? SFPB, let's go back. The United States Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, right, ordered them to pay all this money. And so this fellow, the director, Rohit Chopra, I think his name is, Wells Fargo rinse repeat cycle of violating the law has harmed millions of American families. The CFPB, which is called the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau of the US, right, ordered Wells Fargo to refund billions of dollars to customers across the country. This is an important initial step for accountability and the longer-term reform of this repeat offender. And keeping in mind, it's not just Wells Fargo, Morgan Stanley, Citigroup, Bank of America, lots of different banks have, been, pulled over the coals with the SEC for certain, things have happened within fiat markets, okay? This thing happened in 2016, and, I agree with Mr. Brad Garlinghouse. It's just totally inconsistent, okay? And I think it's fair enough that Ripple executives slam the SEC because they are not doing their job, okay? They are supposed to guide people in terms of cryptocurrency markets and fiat markets, what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do. But we know that fiat markets are regulated. But we know cryptocurrency markets are allegedly unregulated. But the SEC is carrying on like all the regulations out there for the cryptocurrency market. We all know what's going on. And yet there's no regulation out there. So it's stupid. This is a chicken and egg thing. The SEC is suing people for allegedly breaking securities law, but there's no regulation within cryptocurrency itself. It is a double standard. And this is exactly what Brad Garlinghouse and General Counsel Stuart Alderucci wrote. It's a SEC double standard, and it is a scandal. I agree, and I think it's corrupt. That's my view, okay? It is a double standard, and it's not great, okay? It's just unbelievable. The SEC doesn't have enough technology, enough understanding of cryptocurrency technology. That is for sure, because they wouldn't do what they're doing, okay? Also, there's just a couple of dates here for XRP, Ripple. I mean, in terms of the legal case, the SEC, it's very confusing what's going on here. They don't make it easy. So apparently we know about the Daubert challenges. I did a video on that the other day. So it looks like there's something happening on December the 19th. Oh, no, that happens already the 26th, crikey. The remaining updated schedule calls for both Ripple and SEC to file the omnibus motion to seal all summary judgment related materials today, which is December the 22nd, okay? Then we got another date on January the 4th, all non-parties must file a motion to see if both parties to dispute have not already done so. After January the 9th, the deadline to oppose the omnibus to seal expires. So it looks like, we're going to have a lot going on between January the 9th and the 13th and the 18th. So, watch this story. Anyway, so there's just a couple other stories there with Ripple and Imelda and this sort of business. We've got there's different schedules, which I mentioned just to make sure we've covered all that. So there's another story I want to talk about today, and this is Waves. Waves used to perform very well. At one stage, it was $60, right? And the last year, Waves is down about 95% from its all-time high. Now, Wave CEO calls futures market breeding ground for FUD, requests exchanges to disable futures trading. And I agree with that, okay? The futures market has killed the cryptocurrency market. It is too small for a futures market, okay? I told you before on podcast or video, the bond market, the interest rate bond market didn't allow futures for about 100 years after bonds were trading. And the market was big, like over 80 billion, what is it, 813, the fixed interest market was 80 trillion, sorry to say. Whereas, our market, the cryptocurrency market's only about 813 million market cap, right? So according to Ivanov, Wave does not need a futures market because it is the breeding ground for FUD and making money off short positions. And I agree with that. This market is too slow. There's Waves there at $1.56, and he's begging the centralized exchanges to disable the futures market for this digital asset in a tweet December the 21st, right? I agree with this. It is too small. It is killing the market. And he's basically said to the cryptocurrency exchanges, Binance, OKEx, Huobi, Kraken, please delist the futures market because it's killing us. Okay, absolutely killing us. It's caused a depeg in one of the stable calls on the waned platform, USDN. They're down, as I said, 98% from their high. And I believe this guy is absolutely spot on, okay? It is killing tokens and coins out there, and the market is too small. And, it means the big traders can go short on an underlying without even owning the cryptocurrency or the stock. It's just terrible, okay? And it should never have been allowed, right? Because the futures market, you can have unlimited supply of a sell position, whereas in the physical market, if you own the physical coin of Waves at $1.56, that's all you can own is the supply, and that's it. Once the supply is finished, it's finished, and it is finished, right? So I agree with this. Now, the next article I want to talk about is this one I found very interesting because I don't like Ethereum. I really don't like Ethereum. I never have. Hang 10, I'm going to get a glass of water for a lot of different reasons. Now, as you know, the SEC basically said Ethereum in 2017 or 18 was not a security. And the reason why they said that is Ethereum, they believed, was decentralized. Decentralized. Now, at the time the SEC made that decision, I don't agree with them because Ethereum was centralized. It had 5 main miners that mined Ethereum, and they were all in China. Okay, so it was not decentralized. The miners cherry-picked, and it wasn't decentralized. Ethereum's platform is extremely expensive. The other day, I had to move $500 of Ethereum to another platform. And honestly, after it all, I got $412. Ethereum's so expensive, and we never know what gas we're going to be charged depending on how busy the system is. And we don't know when it's going to settle because of the miners, right? And the gas being charged and whether they're going to pick up the transaction and validate it, okay? So Paxful said they're delisting Ethereum, citing issues around integrity after it switched to proof of stake, which I think is very interesting. The marketplace Paxful on Wednesday said it took off Ethereum in its marketplace. The company cited issues around integrity of the blockchain network. The decision to delist Ethereum comes at an immediate effect on the platform, the company's CEO, Ray Youssef, said. The CEO cited the blockchain's network switch to the proof of stake mechanism from proof of reserves, right? They said it's not decentralized. It's controlled by a group of people. They've charged people in the crypto market a huge amount of money. It's not decentralized. It's too expensive. Ethereum spawned tokens that are scams that have robbed people of billions, he stated in the statement. Wow, that's a heavy statement. But I do agree with him, actually. He said, while Youssef said, the owner of Paxful, the CEO, said, Ethereum has utility in some cases in finance like credit and lending, but he criticized the blockchain's tokenization model because everyone used to go on Ethereum as an ICO, right, as a token. Ethereum spawned tokens that are scams that have robbed people of billions, he stated. He added that Ethereum's token stole valuable momentum away from Bitcoin. Ethereum is not decentralized, controlled by a small amount of people, and one day you will need permission to use it. Now, this is very interesting. Where's the SEC? This guy is saying he knows that they're not decentralized, right? The SEC doesn't have a leg to stand on, even with Ripple. I mean, and I always believed that Ethereum was not decentralized, okay? So we're finally kicking Ethereum off the marketplace. 11.6 million humans will be safer. Integrity over revenue. I mean, this is a fascinating article, guys and girls. Seriously, I'll have to put it up with the link, but I'm amazed by that, and it's exactly what I think. There's another story here about this from Cointelegraph. It's centralized. He doesn't like the minting of tokens on there that cost people billions of dollars. Here's his little thing. And honestly, it is damning. It is really damning, absolutely. And good on him for doing this. I think that's free. He said he wanted to see a world where Bitcoin frees billions of people held back by this evil system, especially those unnecessarily harmed living in the global south. And I agree with the guy. Totally. It's against everything that cryptocurrency is supposed to be. Low fees, decentralization, or where you're forced to hold Ethereum, I agree with the guy totally. The tokens that Ethereum is born have been scams that have robbed billions of people, right? Wow, that's really damning. Okay. I mean, okay, let's be sensible here. I mean, this guy's obviously a Bitcoin maximalist, but I do agree with him because the thing is, you never, know how Ethereum's going to trade because of the volatility of all those tokens on its layer one platform as well. So there's a real issue here. And then this is another article here. Sometimes I look at different articles to see if I can, find any more information. But he stated that, this is not good. And, he says it's scammy and rob billions of people. And, that's very, very indicting. I've got to tell you that. There's another one there. And, that was yesterday, talking about the proof of work again and the proof of stake, and basically saying we are Bitcoin supporters. He is maximalist by the looks of that. I do agree with this fellow. Seriously, absolutely. And I think these are three very interesting articles, guys and girls, to have a look at. Seriously, because even the Ethereum thing, Ripple could use this in their case against the SEC, saying that they are not decentralized. Okay, so it's very, very interesting. Also, Brad Garlinghouse is completely right about Wells Fargo and a lot of other big banks that are also being treated differently by the SEC because they're fiat institutions rather than the cryptocurrency market. Anyway, guys and girls, I hope you're all well. Please have a good day. Look after yourself, look after your animals, and just be really nice to everyone in the world because it's a really tough world. Thanks, guys and girls. I'll talk to you very soon. Thank you.